Elsewhere, the National Council of Churches of Kenya is now raising the alarm over the country's security ahead of the March 4th general election.
The council wants the government to recall retired police officers to beef up security during the election period. And as KTN's Wilkister Nyabwa reports, this comes against a backdrop of rising insecurity in parts of the country.
With 96 days to the March 4th election date, the National Council of Churches is raising the alarm over the country's security situation. In the face of the attacks witnessed in parts of the country in recent weeks, church leaders have raised questions as to whether the government can marshal enough troops to provide adequate security before, during and after the elections in order to prevent a repeat of the 2007 post-election chaos.
This is a massive exercise, and we don't think there are sufficient police officers to provide adequate coverage across the country.
Despite the police service stating that except for lack of adequate vehicles they are up to the task, the National Council of Churches recommends that the government recall retired police officers of good standing to reinforce the efforts of police officers during the election period. The council also had a message for Kenyans, urging them to expose those behind attacks on police officers, terming these attacks the pathway to chaos and instability. The warning comes barely a week after 3 Kenya Defence Forces officers were shot dead in Garissa and 3 weeks after over 31 police officers were killed in Baragoi in an ambush mounted by cattle rustlers. Of the 31, 3 police officers are still missing, and the bodies of 5 other officers are undergoing DNA tests to verify their identities before they are released to their families for burial.
The nature of their bodies demanded that we carry out DNA tests, which is going on, and we hope very soon we'll be able to identify and get to know which body belongs to who.
The Council is now calling upon the National Cohesion and Integration Commission to take stern action against persons found issuing inflammatory statements ahead of the general elections. The National Council of Churches of Kenya says that while the wind of change is blowing across the country, the kind of change that the country will experience after the next general elections will be determined by the choices and the preparations it makes now. Reporting for KTN in Limuru, I'm Wilkister Nyabwa.